I'll begin with the introductions. Sir, I'm Sumaya Mubin, the Director of Marketing and Sponsorship for AMSA India for the tenure of 2023 to 24.
Good morning,
Okay.
sir. I'm Sir Kushagra Sachdev, and I'm the National Officer for Marketing and Sponsorships, AMSA India, for the year 2023 and 2024.
Knowledge, action, and friendship are the three principles of AMSA India. And via this podcast, we extend a way of friendship and knowledge to our members. Today, we have Dr. Sumaya Sethi with us. Dr. Sumaya Sethi, a dynamic figure in the medical world, is a celebrated radiologist whose brilliance transcends traditional boundaries. With pioneering work in radiology, he's not just a healer, but also a tireless educator, spreading wisdom and guidance to a plethora of medical students all across India. Dr. Sethi's impact on healthcare and education is truly transformative, which can be seen through his compelling, riveting, and thought provoking TEDx talk. Thank you so much for joining us today, sir. And we are really honored to have you here with us today, sir.
Thank you so much, Bache, and it is my honor to be a part of your event and today's podcast. I am very excited to hear your side and your questions, and I am also anticipating a few googlies, which but I'll try my best to answer.
No, no, sir. I'll begin with the first question, which our viewers have for you. You've had an extraordinary career, sir. The combination of academic excellence and entrepreneurship is what sets you apart. What inspired you to become a radiologist in the first place and later venture into medical education and entrepreneurship?
See, one of the most important things that I always liked in medicine was the variety. That what excites me about medicine was that you can do so many things at a single time. You can look at a patient, he could have an eye disease, maybe he could have a uveitis, but maybe it could be related to his inflammatory bowel disease. But an ophthalmologist may only look at the eye, but when you look at the patient in totality, you are able to make a complete diagnosis. What excites me about radiology was the variety. And as I was, a fairly okay student, I am not a gold medalist in MBBS. I was not a distinction holder, but I was fairly okay student in my MBBS. So I liked all branches. And if you like all branches, you need to get into a field which can use all your branches. And I felt radiology is the one. And today, in a single day of my life as a radiologist, from morning to evening, you have maybe 2 3 neuro cases, one or two musculoskeletal cases, one few chest x-rays to look at, few HSG, few MRI. So what happens is you are using everything that you know as a doctor in your diagnostic capabilities. That gives you the thrill. I think this is similar to what happens to internists. Like suppose you do only MD medicine, and after MD medicine you see a patient in totality, but when you become super specialized, you become more and more tunneled. I think radiology gives you that advantage that even when I'm looking at a chest x-ray, a bit of abdomen is also visible, and sometimes the finding might be below the diaphragm, and that ability to see in totality gives you the kick. And that was something that excited me. And coming to the second part of your question was like the entrepreneur plunge. Somewhere in your life, each one of us has a moment when we transform and we change into something that we never imagined that we wanted to become. To me, that buzzword was freedom. The freedom to create things as I want them to. I am sure, when you are doing a today's podcast or a today's event, you imagined that how this event should look like, what should be the flow of the event be like. Similarly, when you run an organization, you look at every aspect of the organization, and every aspect is your thoughts, which have, you have made them real. So as an entrepreneur, I feel that freedom to create with, maybe no one to answer, maybe everyone to answer, I don't know. But that freedom to create excited me in the beginning.
So basically, you wanted to be your own boss, sir.
To put it in a nutshell.
So kind of follow up on that.
Yeah,
Hello, am I audible?
Kushagra. Yeah, you're audible.
So I'd like to follow up on that because sir, I think a lot of people want to become entrepreneurs. It's just that that leap, that is the most difficult part. How did you calculate risks? How did you calculate? How did you know? How did you envision yourself? And how did you get yourself to be there to do that?
Answer to this question is, first of all, we need to know that every one of us has a limited lifespan. So, it has to be realized. And once you understand this, makes the risks and the odds ratio easier. We have a limited lifespan. One day we will go. So, what is the risk? What is there to lose? So, this is the kind of thought process that I have. And second is, and I am a very simple man otherwise. So, I don't have too many needs. I don't really desire to own a sports car. If it comes my way, it is okay, but it is not something which drives me. What drives me is that I am able to do what I want to do. I'll give you an example. Like, I feel most alive when I'm teaching. It took me a while to understand this. I feel most excited when I'm on the stage. You put me on the stage
Yes,
in
sir.
front of students, I'm super excited. I'm like, I'm alive. And I feel something inside me which is totally full of fire at that moment. And once I come back from a class, often when I come back from a class and I'm in a flight, I feel very happy, and that happiness is something that drives me. So when you talk about the economic risks, they become more and more relevant when you are chasing money, profits, or valuations, or an exit, or all those sort of things that a typical entrepreneur cycle would include. But when you start enjoying the journey, and this is what I call as the surfer's mindset, that there will be ups and downs. But if you don't want to reach anywhere and you are enjoying the surfing, and you look at everything that is going ups and downs as waves, and you're enjoying the surfing, then it really doesn't matter, because all the pressure happens in competitive exams, in entrepreneurship, in sports, anything that you do when you want to reach somewhere. But when you're enjoying the process, the pressure goes away.
Yes, sir. The passion beats all. It is not about the monetary gains or losses.
It's about what you want to do in life. If there is, whatever
Yes, sir.
you will gain monetarily will stay here ultimately. We will all go one day. But what would matter is the life that we touched. And, I'll tell you a small story which, excites me every time I tell it. Like, sometimes, this is a part of my TED talk also. This gentleman, he called me up. He's a doctor in Mumbai. He calls me up and says, Dr. Sumer, I want to thank you. I said, why do you want to thank me? I said, most welcome, but why? He says, my son is your student. So I thought maybe he's gotten through PG. So I said, okay, congratulations. He said, no, 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 he's still in final year. So I said, okay, then why are you thanking me right now? I am yet to deliver. When we are preparing students for exams, I'm yet to deliver. He says, no, no, my son studied radiology from you, and his mother had neck pain. They did a MRI of the neck. Because he had learned radiology from me, he could pick up a thyroid lump in his mother, and then his mother got operated upon because of a papillary cancer thyroid, which was detected early, but was missed by the radiologist, but picked up by this final year MBBS student. And he says, his father called me up and says that my son says, because I learned from Dr. Sumair, I could pick it up. So, what is it that we learn from this is that what is it that means to me is that, I touched a life by teaching. He touched his mother's life by helping her, and tomorrow he will touch other patients' lives also. So as humans, we create ripples of impacts. We feel that we are here to do something, or I'm not that big a person to actually comment on the purpose of life, but we are touching lives, and those lives are touching more lives, so we create those ripples. And more you touch, more successful you are, more lives you touch, more meaningful your life will be, and more you will enjoy it, more the journey will matter to you.
What a
It's
beautiful
actually
story that
amazing.
was, sir. Yeah, I think in the great journey you've had, I'm sure you've faced your own share of challenges. Can you share an experience where you encountered a significant obstacle and how you overcame it, sir?
I think one of the most significant obstacle that we had as an organization and I faced was the COVID. During the COVID pandemic, we were at around more than 200 places across the country. We had physical centers everywhere, and suddenly, you hear that everything is locked down, but your landlords everywhere want the rent to be paid. The students are not coming to the classes because of the lockdown, and suddenly you have to shift to a digital platform. So But to shift to a digital platform, you need to meet people, and you cannot meet people because you want to safeguard yourself and your family also. You are also locked down. Your everything that you build up is locked down, and you have to do a digital transformation. So we did a digital transformation in the middle of pandemic. We started building our app. We started hiring people remotely. We had to talk to all of them on Zoom, explain what we want, explain the problems that the students are facing. And we built the mobile app called as Medicos in the middle of the pandemic. It was very challenging. Sometimes we had to send people to meet other people, but the police would stop them. Some of our boys got hit by the police also, because police thought that if they put a danda on somebody, they will drive the COVID away. We had no idea what was going on. And so it all started like this. But in between, I had my own say stubbornness, that I believe education is not a commodity. So during COVID, I have to do digital transformation, but I believe education is not a commodity. You cannot record a lecture, create a commodity, and sell it multiple times. You have seen this in undergraduate education also. Many people have recorded lectures for school children. Many people have actually burned billions of dollars in recording and selling tablets, and selling it to people. And ultimately, they've all gone bankrupt. Education is not a commodity, it has to be delivered. So, in the middle of the pandemic, I'm telling my team that I don't want a recorded lecture app, I want to do it live. And the teachers at that time were not, I'm sure you know this, today we are doing it on Zoom, but at that time nobody knew Zoom also. So
Exactly.
teachers were not technically savvy, they were all in their homes, and I had my stubbornness that I want to do it live. We managed somehow, and we created relationships during that year with many students who were stuck in their homes, but we were teaching live every day. And till today, DAM's eMedico's app platform is known for the live teaching that we do. It is two-way interactive, and sometimes in life there will be challenges. It was a significant challenge. It was very difficult for me, and it was, because when you're delivering a service, the other part would be merciless. They don't know what is happening and how difficult it is for you to technically organize people who are developing Android, people who are developing the iOS app, people who are working on the Windows platform, people who are working backhand, the tech team, the academic team, the doctors, the teachers, and everybody stuck in their own homes. With some people would have limited internet, but at that time it was very difficult to do the transformation. Now it is easy, but those 6 months I learned a lot about what all can go wrong, and then how you as an entrepreneur can be the force standing in between. It took an effort to transform.
That that's quite inspiring.
So I'll ask the question. So mentorship plays a significant role in your life. Can you share some examples of how mentorship has positively impacted the lives and careers of those you've mentored?
Oh, yeah, like I'll give you some examples where, in life, as in competitive exam and non-competitive exams, like otherwise in life in general, sometimes we need a third party perspective. Now, mentor as a word has been, glorified, and we talk about, it in a very big way. But actually, what happens is when we are too close to a problem, as a person, when you are too close to the mountain, it looks enormous. But somebody who is looking at it from a far away can give you a better perspective. And usually, that person, if he has seen more life than you have, or more more people in this similar journey, or if he has had a similar journey, can give you insights that may be very useful for you. I'll give you an example. Now, I met this girl a few years back. She came to me crying, and she says, "Sir, I have a NEET PG rank 10,000," and she was crying. And I said, "NEET PG rank 10,000 is not bad, so why are you crying? You will have options." So she tells me that, "Sir, it is not about the rank, it is about my academic career." She tells me that she is from a top Delhi medical college, and she has been a university topper in first year, university topper second year, university topper second year, university topper fourth year. She's gold medalist through and through. And she tells me that, "Sir, now everybody is calling me to ask my rank, because they all feel that I'm the topper, and now I have a rank of 10,000, and I feel that maybe this exam pattern is not for me." And I think, I will take whatever I'm getting, but I'm very disappointed with myself, and that's why I'm crying. I don't know what to do. So I asked, what can you get at this rank? She said, at my rank, through my Delhi ranks, I can get anesthesia, but I don't want to do anesthesia. I want to do medicine, and I'm not sure if this is the right path for me or not. So then I ask her that, beta, okay, do whatever you want to, but because I have seen a little bit more life than you have, because that's the role of a mentor, that you have to look at your journey and give back. So I want to know from you, what was your preparation strategy? Now she tells me that, sir, I have studied this. It was okay. Then I said, how was your exam? So she said, sir, in my exam, I did out of 200, I marked 160. I said, why did you mark 160? And she tells me, no, sir, because I wanted to be very perfect and mark only the answers that I'm very sure about. And at that moment, I knew her what was her problem. Her problem was perfectionism. She was thinking that only people who perfectly know answer are getting the ranks. Last year, rank 1 had 185 correct. Now, if you attempt 160, you cannot beat a candidate who is getting 185 correct. You understand? Mathematically, if you're only attempting
Yes,
160,
sir.
you cannot do it. So then I felt that maybe she's attempting too little. Then I said, okay, leave whatever you're getting. Just listen to me. Here onwards, you become more aggressive in the paper. If you are able to rule out two choices, go and attack the paper. So, sir, what if I get it wrong? I said, what if you get it right? So she said, sir, what is the chances? I told her that you are a gold medalist. You are probably more intelligent than I am. You have gold medals all across your MBBS thrown in your drawing room. I am sure you, whatever you are thinking will be right. Go and attack it. Next year, she ended up getting a Delhi rank 1. She did her MD medicine. After MD medicine, she sent me a message, sir, thank you that you impacted my journey. Now I've done my MD medicine. She's now rank 1 in Delhi. Now she's said that now I'm appearing for NEET super specialty. And because you have told me to fight the MCQs with aggression, now I will appear for NEET SS also. I said, go ahead and give it. She got a top rank in NEET SS, did her DM neurology, and then she sent me a message, sir, I have done my DM. So I'm seeking your blessings. I said, congratulations again. And what I've learned is that now she's doing very well in life. But there was a day when she had lost faith in her own abilities. She was complaining about the exam pattern, and just a small tweak. Because we all underestimate the power of small changes that we can make. We all want to make big changes, but small changes, when they aggregate, they become the big change. Just my small advice, but only it could affect her because she was receptive on that day. After you have
Yes, sir.
lost or you made a mistake, you're receptive. At that time, if the mentor, and I believe that God has given us mentors to appear only on the days when we need them most. At that time, if the mentor tells you something, it hits you and you're able to transform and go to the next level. What I mean to say here is that we all believe that transformations in careers, in life, in relationships, we think they believe they happen over years. It is not true. They happen in moments when we seek the change. I'll give you another example. It is very, very interesting for
Yes,
me.
sir.
And I think, he's very actually hilarious also. This boy comes to me. He's a final year MBBS student, and he comes to me and says, "Sir, I want to seek your advice regarding an health tech venture." I'm not going into the details of his venture because I've not asked him that I will be discussing his story. So he was building a health tech venture, and he says, I want your advice on this health tech venture. I heard the venture and I said, it is full of possibilities of litigations and mistakes happening, and it will not become a big business. I told him straight. Then he said, no, sir, I'm very passionate. Okay. I said, okay, if you're passionate, go ahead and do it. But what about your MBBS? No, sir, I've already dropped my MBBS. I said, why you have dropped out of your MBBS? Sir, I started my final year 3 years back, but then I did not complete it. I said, what is the fun? No, sir, everybody is telling me these entrepreneurs should be dropouts. I said, bullshit. Who told you all this? Sir, I have read stories about Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg. They're all dropouts. मैंने कहा भाई but it is not a rule to drop out. It is like, why are you destroying what you have built only to appeal to people that, he says, sorry, because I'm a dropout, it seems to people that I'm very serious. I said, to me, it does not. Please finish your MBBS. It is just one more exam left. And then there is, we are looking at life as a very small horizon. Suppose you live for 90 years or 100 years. At 22 years, it is not late. Finish your MBBS, spend 6 more months, come back to me, and then we'll talk about it. He finished his MBBS. Then he gradually got wiser. He realized what I was saying, and built up another kind of startup. He's still doing it, but at least at that day he could understand that not every time, dropping out or taking, if it is something that you really really want to do, it's okay, but only to look good to other people and dropping out is not a good idea, is what I felt. So sometimes as a mentor, because you are able to look at things from outside, from away, you are able to give a clear third party perspective to the other person, and that helps to transform. It is like, not only in our own field, I believe this third party perspective has a huge role to play in everything that we do. Now imagine, suppose you are a surgeon and you're operating, but you're operating on your own. You might make mistakes, but there's nobody to mentor you. Now imagine a senior surgeon only standing with you, although this doesn't happen in India. But imagine a senior surgeon only standing with you in a friendly manner. And after the surgery, you have a walk down the hospital and he tells you that your hand should have been like this, your retractor should be like this. If you do this, because he's observing you from outside, he can give you valuable insight. That is the role of a coach or somebody who's mentoring or giving you the third party perspective. But as a coach, we need to keep our prejudices away from the what the other person is doing. So that is also very important, that I have to guide them to a level which is important for them, but I have to be still remain an outsider because it is his life.
Yes, sir. I agree, sir. That was a brilliant answer, sir.
So,
Sumaya,
is it,
are you there? Yeah.
am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
So you yourself are a motivator and a TEDx speaker. You inspire others. So what is your own secret of staying motivated and inspiring those around you, even in challenging times?
See, one thing that I truly believe is that if you are doing what you like doing, if you do what you like doing, you don't need external motivation. It's like you have to find the channel which is like, I've talked about this in one of my TED talks that I gave in Bhopal, that whenever, if you imagine a radio and FM studio, are you aware of FM? I'm sure in the age of Spotify, you may not be using all that things. But at when you're listening to radio FM, nowadays they have only advertisements. But once upon a time, they were music. So when you're tuning the FM, if you tune it to 98.2, the music will not be clear. There will be noise. If you tune it to 98.4, there will be noise. If you do it 98.3, you have the music. So there is a certain frequency at which the radio resonates the best. It produces the best music. Similarly, for all of us, we we try multiple paths, but there is a single path in which we are destined to make the maximum impact. And I believe, as these, I don't know what drives the universe or what drives the world, but the everything that is happening in the universe will push you, nudge you. It will not be hard push, it will be a small but little firm nudge towards your path of maximum impact. And if you allow yourself to be supple enough to be nudged towards the path of maximum impact, you will not need external motivation here onwards. The entire role of mentors is to nudge you. So what happens, what is a mentor, or what is the role of anybody guiding anyone, is to nudge them to the path of their maximum impact. Maybe like, it is your life and these are supporting actors. You are the hero of your life. The mentors are all supporting actors. The role of supporting actors is to just to nudge you, make sure the hero goes on the track where he does not need any more motivation, and the supporting actors disappear. And remember your school teachers. They had a role to play in your life, but then they disappear because you are the hero of your life. The teachers are there to nudge you, put you into the path of your maximum impact, then they disappear.
You put it out beautifully, sir, and it will really help us in finding our own way, our own frequency at which we work the best. So, sir, you've addressed the challenges of preparing for entrance exams. What advice do you have for medical students facing such exams to stay positive and motivated during their preparation?
First of all, we need to have a why. Just because everybody else is preparing for an exam and you start preparing for it is a weak driver. Like, suppose I'm preparing and I ask many students this, why are you studying? He says, sir, because everybody else is studying. This is a very weak driver, and it is something that you're trying to conform to other people's notions of their life. But now contrast this with a student I met recently, I think only 2 3 days back in a student event. I met him. He came up to me. He said, "Sir, I want to become an oncologist." I said, "Why do you want to become an oncologist? You are a third year MBBS." I was surprised by his awareness levels because a third year MBBS does not know oncology, you know. So he said, "I want to become oncologist." I said, "Why, sir? My grandmother recently died of a cancer, and I was with her throughout her journey. And I think, and what he said was very touching. He said, Sir, I think that the doctors were treating the disease, but none of them could understand the person." And it's very powerful. And it's very powerful to hear from a third year MBBS student that doctors were treating the disease, but none of them were treating the person because they could not be in her shoes. This is called as empathy. Now imagine now this boy, when he's studying for oncology, now he has a driver which is far more powerful than a person who's saying, I'm studying because others are studying. Who is going to work harder? A person who has a strong why. We need to find the why. This why could be because of what you have suffered or what you want to do in life. What do you enjoy doing? I'll give you an example. There was a student of mine, right from his third year MBBS, he was totally fascinated by brain. He would always talk about brain anatomy, brain pathology. I taught them in my class. I taught when I start my class, I start with the CT brain. So I taught CT brain and I always give the anatomical correlation. So he was super excited with it. He came up to me, sir, maza aa gaya, sir. I totally enjoyed what you taught, sir. I said, okay, beta, I am sure you enjoyed, but what is it that you enjoy? Sir, I enjoy your approach to the brain. And he says that I want to somehow do something to do with brain and surgery. He ended up doing neurosurgery from NIMHANS. So what I believe is, and during those 5 6 years in neurosurgery, in between, whenever he could get in touch with me through my social media handles, he would say, "Sir, I am enjoying it a lot, sir." Now contrast this with people who would come back and say, "Sir, surgery residency is so toxic, sir. Sir, they are harassing me." And this boy is saying, "Sir, maza aa raha hai, sir, maza aa raha hai, maza aa raha hai," because he's living his life pursuing what he truly enjoys doing. Okay. And the third example that I want to give here is that if you have a driver, it always helps. Now, this girl, I was taking a class in, I think, in our Mumbai center or Bangalore center, I don't remember, few years back. In between the class, this girl would get up and go out and then come back. And whenever I'm teaching, I'm looking at every student. Even if it's a big auditorium, I'm looking at every student. And I'm like, yeah, why is she getting up? So during the break, I told my staff member to, ask her to talk to me because, I want to know if I'm not able to explain properly, what is it that she's not understanding, why she's getting up. So I asked her, why are you getting up? So she comes and says, sir, I have ankylosing spondylitis and I can't sit for a long time. So I said, okay, you can study at home. No, no, sir, but I want to do the best possible. So I am here to learn from you. And in between, I will get up. I said, okay, better, no problems. Okay. Then I said, okay, then, and I was surprised that in pain also she is driven. So I thought, why is she driven? Because it is one of the things that I keep learning. I like to learn about people. One of the things I would have done if I was not a radiologist, I would have become a psychiatrist. I feel I love to know about people. So I said, what drives you? I have seen people who are totally fit and totally crying. What drives you? So she tells me that, sir, I want to become a rheumatologist in future and help other people in similar pain. Now find a driver. I've given you example. There's this boy who's passionate about brain, becomes a neurosurgeon, somebody who has a family member and now wants to help other people. Now, The entire idea is you need a driver in life. Once you have a driver in life, it is no longer a rat race. You are pursuing your own dream. And a future you will thank the current you for working hard. It's always, we need to remember this, that whenever we are working hard, we are tired. And during fatigue, we make poor decisions. Whenever we are tired, we make poor decisions. Like you're tired of studying, you decide, okay, here onwards, I will not study any longer. I want to leave it. So we make poor decisions when we are fatigued. At those hours and those days, we need to remind ourselves that there will be a future me which will thank the current me for not giving up on dreams. So you need to find a driver, pursue it relentlessly. Now, it may seem to you that, sir, why do we need to do it? Why can't we have our life easy? Why can't we just watch TV? Why can't we just sit on Instagram all day? It is like what we seek out of life is also more. When you seek extraordinary, you need to burn extraordinary. It is the rule of life. So when you seek extraordinary, like this boy wants to become a neurosurgeon, you can't become a neurosurgeon by watching Instagram whole day. You have to burn, you have to show your passion towards the brain anatomy and towards surgery by working hard. So somewhere we need to align everything that we have, our passion, our thoughts, our hard work, and align them into one zone in which you are able to resonate the best. And that is where success in any competition will come.
Wow, sir. Listening to you is like we could go on listening to you for hours at a stretch. It's so inspiring and motivating. So, sir, in your TEDx talk, you have discussed the concept of chasing butterflies. Can you share some insights into this concept and how it can inspire individuals to pursue their passions and dreams?
See, what happens is what I've learned in my life is that in my school time, and I'm sure all of us, we were only looking at somehow we need to get into medical school. Somehow we need to get into medical school. And when you reach the medical college itself, 1 or 2 days you feel that as if I've arrived. 2, 3 days later, it settles down, and then we feel that you feel empty and you want more. And this is something like running on a hedonic treadmill, that you're running on a treadmill to reach somewhere. When you reach there, you want more. When you reach somewhere, so then you want more. And so it has happened to me multiple times. I started my academy called as DAMS. I thought, one day if I reach till Kerala from Gujarat to east in Guwahati, I will be very happy. I reached there and I wanted more. And so when I started my mobile app, I was like, if some people use it, I'll be very happy. 1 million people started using it. I'm still wanting more. So what I've learned is that in our life, whenever we reach somewhere, we want more. Then where is the happiness? So the mistake that we do is that we link our happiness to achievements. Happiness has to come in the path itself. It cannot be linked to destination, that I will be happy only if I reach this place. Okay. So that is the detachment or the split that I want to tell all of you, is that happiness is separate. Your ambition is separate. If I can keep them both separate, it helps your purpose, that I am enjoying the journey. I reach somewhere or not, my happiness is linked to my journey. But whenever you reach somewhere, you would want more. That is the human dilemma. I don't know what is the end of it, but maybe the end is in touching lives, impacting other people, helping them, and leading a purposeful life. I know it may sound boring to you youngsters right now, but I'll try to elaborate with something more interesting. That what is meaning? I've tried to dig deeper into it for my own life. What is it that I want out of it? Why am I running? And a lot of my friends also ask me that, Somer, why are you running now? Why do you need to go to every of your center? Why do you want to stand on a stage every now and then? What is it that is driving you? And I get confused. My friend says that I'm sitting in my home eating golgappas and watching cricket match. Why are you running? Like, what? Why am I running? What is it that you want? Then I feel, what is it that we all want is, we want three things in life. Okay. I'll try to put them in words. Number one is we want meaningful relationships. Meaningful means non-transactional. Non-transactional means that every relationship cannot be give and take. In our life, we need some things some relations which are not give and take. We want a purposeful life. That means whatever we are doing should be able to help others, and we are able to touch more lives. And number three is, we need some moments in our life where we feel that we are truly alive. That means, for me, that moment is when I'm on a stage teaching, I feel truly alive. You need some moments in life when you're truly alive. If you're able to build all that, you will be beyond the hedonic treadmill, because your happiness is not linked to the destinations.
So when did that self-awareness kick in for you? That the journey, that the thing I'm doing right now, this process, this is the fun part. It's not about destinations, because I'm a third year student. I'm a third year MBBS student. Right now, it's all about goals. It's about exams. It's about prof examination. It's about other things.
It's like it's a
So
constant
how does it?
process. I I
How do
I
I
I
get that
would not.
self-awareness? Yes, sir.
It's a constant process. When you talk to me right now, like, you might think, "Oh, sir knows everything." It's not like true. I'm still struggling. I'm still, finding. And every one of us has to do our own findings. We have to do our own digging, and that digging is more inside than outside. You have to dig inside. Gradually you will get to know. And what happens is, there is a moment, and there's a moment in each one of our lives when we realize that we need to decide. I'll give you an example. It's like, we all form a blurred picture of our future, that this is what we want, but we are not sure what we truly want. Okay. But there will be a moment where you will have to take the leap of faith based on the blurred picture and say, okay, this is what I want. And that day you will be nudged to the path of your greatest impact. It will happen. It will happen. It's a system. It is a system of the universe that it nudges you to the path of your greatest impact. We may resist it, we may not know it, but it will happen for you also. Don't worry. Have faith.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, in your experience, how can medical professionals contribute to positive changes in healthcare systems and policies to benefit patients and the community?
See, I what I feel is, that to impact life of a patient, like as a doctor, if I'm treating one patient, I'm treating one patient, and probably I'm impacting few other people of his family. As healthcare, or doctors who are the leaders of the healthcare ecosystem, we need to take roles which are impacting much more lives than just the micro impact that we do as a clinician. Now imagine, suppose, like, I'm sure you all heard of the lady who got a Nobel Prize recently for discovering the mRNA vaccine technology, which led to
Mhm.
the COVID vaccine being made at a fantastic pace during the pandemic. Now imagine the difference between her impact and the impact that we do as a clinician. So not all doctors can remain clinicians. Some of us have to select roles which can have a more macro, more wider impact, like research, which is totally ignored in India. I'm sure you would agree. It is totally ignored in India. But if we imagine, research would mean go into more, something more curiosity driven, more outcome driven, rather than only writing something for resume building. I want you to, understand the difference. I'm doing something to build my resume is different from I'm doing something to create a wider impact is different. So research is one thing. Second is, on take the plunge as an entrepreneur. When you become an entrepreneur, suppose you open your own hospital, you will impact the life of all the people working in the hospital, all the patients who are coming there. And suddenly your impact is not limited to one person, one family. It becomes much wider. Entrepreneurship, research, and then thought leadership. Now, why do we need as doctors to leave the thought leaderships to others? I'll give you an example. Recently, I met a group of people. They are all IIT engineers, and they said, "Sir, we want to meet you." I said, "Why?" "Sir, we are starting a artificial intelligence based startup for medical profession." I said, "Okay, but are you a doctor?" "No, no, sir, we don't need a doctor. We are all IITians." I said, you know, it makes me angry sometimes. Why do we need to leave the initiatives to others? We can't leave the leadership of our sector to investors, to technocrats. It is doctors who should be leading. So as doctors, to have more widespread impact, we need to take the role of researchers, entrepreneurs, innovators. We can't leave the innovations to others. We can't leave the research to others. We can't be leaving the ownership of healthcare to others. I am I'm a big fan of doctors who take the plunge to own their own systems.
Sir, how do we change the culture in our country? Because innovation is not something that we are very comfortable with. We go to other countries and then we participate in innovation, which is, I don't know, sir, because I think the minds of our country they are among the greatest minds in the world. It is us who are doing all the researches and all the science experiments. It's just that we do them in other countries. And so, secondly, sir, I have seen a trend. Many of my friends and my seniors also now they are planning to go to IIMs to do an MBA after doing an MBBS. That is also something I've just seen in the past year or two.
See, what
So,
I'm
what do
here
you
to
feel
tell
about
you
that?
is, okay,
Is that a
I'll
good
tell you,
option, sir?
I'll answer the first part of your question first. What is culture? What is culture? Culture is something that people who are working together, or be in together in an ecosystem. Like suppose you're all a college batchmates in one college. How you behave, how you interact creates the culture. And sometimes we seek the culture to be more external. I am here to tell you culture is first internal. If I change as a person, I will start changing other people around me. Is the reverse. We want the system to help us. I am telling you, you are the system yourself. You as an individual are the system. We don't want to believe it because we believe that we are powerless, and we believe there should be some external system which will build the innovation culture for us. You start yourself. And when we start ourselves, we impact the system and we create the culture. I have seen this happen in multiple places in different kind of landscapes. There was a college where no student was studying. I'm just giving a parallel example of a culture. There was a college where no student was studying, and it was a privately owned college, and it was few years back before the COVID pandemic. And the chairman invited me and has said, Sumer, what can we do to make this college more, people should be studying more? How can we change the culture? The culture is not there. I said, okay, let's start doing it. And I started by taking a lecture in that college. Then we at DAMS we started sending faculty there. And few years later, some students they started going to the library to study because they were impacted by the teachers. It was smoldering, smoldering, smoldering. And 1 year later, one of the student got a top rank in AIMS entrance exam. Suddenly, this girl who got a top rank came back to the college, and now the students started to look up to her. That okay, from our college also we are able to study, and the culture changed. And suddenly, the college where they were saying that nobody will study, suddenly everybody starts to study. So what change was, change happens when you start changing as an individual. One individual impacts other impacts other. It's a chain reaction. We underestimate the power of one. We think that maybe everybody else will change me. It is the reverse. Me will change others. Okay. So that is first thing, if
Yes,
I'm
sir.
able to articulate for you, is culture. Second was about I am you know it's like I'm not really sure about the change here, because many people, when they go from being a doctor to go into IIM, they are going for reasons of financial independence. That okay, if I go into a management school, I will learn HR or marketing or something, or finance, and maybe it might get me a good job. I feel as a doctor, it's again going on the wrong side of it. Like I don't know. I'm not being judgmental. I don't want to be, and I'm totally non-judgmental on anybody else's life. But imagine now, if you spend your 6 years into healthcare, then you do MBA HR, and you're working as a HR head in a company. Where is the impact gone? Where is the impact? You may be getting a good fat pay package, but where is the impact? So I have said no to many pay packages in my life just to make sure that I keep doing what I really want to do. So why behind things is more important. Like, what do you want out of it?
Hmm.
Are you seeking financial security in terms of a fat pay package? But on the other hand, I see the IITians. If you look at IITians now, many of them are leaving the IIM jobs to do start their own startups. You understand? We are slightly behind their
Yes, sir.
cycle. IITians started by doing engineering, then they decided to do management. Now they want to do startups and build their own, bring their innovations onto the planet Earth. And we are slightly behind. We are started by being doctors. Now we want to become management graduates. I am thinking very soon it will happen that we will also change and we will realize that is not what we want to do. We don't want to sell shampoo and soaps for a multinational company. We want to bring
Mhm.
more impact into the place. As a doctor, you will not be satisfied. You want more out of life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the reason I joined
I'll give
medical
you an
school.
example. I've given this example multiple times that many times I see graduate in any other stream. If you offer them a job in America and you tell them that you have to change your work system from this kind of work that you're doing to some other kind of work, they will happily change. Imagine now doctors, if he is a surgeon and you ask him that you go to America and you have to do medicine, he will not change. Doctors are very focused on what they want out of life. So once sometimes go into different direction, but ultimately doctors are people who selected to be in this profession in the beginning, despite knowing it is the harder or the longer path. I'm sure Kushagra and the other bachi there. You both also, when you started your MBBS, there was somebody in your school who must have told you it is the longer path, it is the
Yes, sir.
harder path, but you said no, I want to do it because you want more out of life. What is that more? That is
Absolutely,
impact.
sir.
That is impact. You don't want to lose out on the impact.
Absolutely, sir. So the next question is, where do you see the healthcare of India in coming times in terms of medical education, better work environment for healthcare professionals, and public health facilities?
I feel like the health minister right now. So health, medical education, healthcare facilities, and what was the third part?
So public health facilities, better work environment for healthcare professionals, and medical education.
Now, I think I am too small a man to, look at all the aspects and make a prediction on all of them. But as far as medical education goes, I think it is going in a way where the current regime is looking to increase the number of doctors massively. We have seen the number of MBBS seats has grown exponentially in the last 10 years. Earlier, they were opening one medical college in 12 years. Recently, they opened 12 medical colleges in one day. So you can see the landslide change in the number of colleges and the number of. So one definite thing that will change is if you look at the medical sector pyramid, at the bottom you have the MBBS doctors, then you have the specialist and the super specialist and the niche doctors. What will happen is the bottom of pyramid will go become crowded. I can already see it because we have seen this in engineering. We have seen this with other fields. When you increase the number of colleges, the number of graduates increase, and the bottom of pyramid is destined to become more crowded in near future. So all of us would need to look at, what differentiates us from the crowd. This is in terms of management. It is something which is called as the blue ocean strategy. So what will now happen is the bottom of the pyramid where we have medical graduates, and now the you can already see the other allied healthcare field are also encroaching onto it. You know, those allied healthcare systems, they are also encroaching onto it. So this is bound to become more crowded. So this is going to become like a red ocean. In red ocean there is a lot of
Yes, sir.
competition and a lot of undercutting the costs. You have to charge less. It is going to become more difficult to shine out in the red ocean, and people will seek to differ. Some of them will differ by acquiring more skills or acquiring more degrees. Some of them will differ by their technical abilities or their computer knowledge or oration skills, social media skills, whatever. But people will seek to differentiate so that they can reach to a level where they are well differentiated from others and they are in a blue ocean where they are in one of few kind of scenario. And every one of us who is right now entering a medical school should know that people 30 years earlier, 40 years earlier, the number of medical graduates were very less. now is tremendous. We recently crossed 1 lakh MBBS seats in India, and I'm sure you are aware of it. So it is like I see the bottom getting more crowded, and I want you
Yes,
to
sir.
voluntarily introspect, seek what you want to become and what will differentiate you from the crowds. Or do you want to remain in the red ocean forever? Is going to be a question that we all need to answer in future.
Yes, sir. And sir, about the work environment. So I'm not going to name any names, but sir, we've all heard stories of colleges in which seniors tell us, and social media, there are social media posts telling us that the work environment is very toxic. You have to work for 4 days, 5 days consecutively. You are not allowed to sleep. People are on painkiller injection. So what do you think about that? Should that change? Or is that a process that a doctor has to go through?
I was reading about it a few days back. There was a surgeon called as Halsted. Halsted, are you aware of Halsted? Halsted, radical mastectomy surgeon.
Yes, sir.
The
Yes, sir.
okay, so I was reading about his life on social media a few days back, and he says that Halsted was a man who started the term residency, and he believed that the doctors who are learning surgery should live there deeply to learn the art of surgery. So, and so each healthcare stream is different. I don't know about surgery, like how deep you need to be engaged, but more you are deeply engaged as a young doctor, you will have challenges in your work life balance. But all said and done, what I truly believe is that as doctors, we can make the life of our juniors easier by being more polite and by being more empathetic and more, more like more radiating positivity to them. I'll try to explain it to you. Imagine a student who enters into a medical college first year. When he is entering the medical college, do you think he meets positivity or do you think he meets negativity? He meets negativity. He meets senior who will say, "Arey, tu kyun aa gaya? Yahan to सब बर्बाद है." He meets professor who says, "You don't know anything," and nobody taught him. You don't know anything, but nobody taught him. And in my class, in my lecture, do an experiment many times. Anytime a student answers correctly in my class, I make all other students applause for him. Okay. This is something that I do. I want you to understand. And at the end of my class, I take a test, and anybody who scores, I make them others clap for him. So in my class, every half an hour, there's an applause happening. And everybody's very happy about it because they know their turn may also come, because if they just need to answer one question and they will be applauded. And then I think that again, we are seeking big intervention. All we need to do is we need to change the methodology of teaching by insult to teaching by applause in a medical college right from the day one. Stop insulting people. They don't know. They are young kids who want to do it. They don't know. You have to teach them. But start applauding them for tiny victories, and the mental health will improve. Once that improves, we need to take care of our residents, because I told you that Halstead had an idea in many decades back that doctors should be deeply engaged. But now the modern kids, they need a little bit of more space. So we need to redefine, rethink about residency. How much should be the work hours? If somebody is working continuously 5 days, is he actually learning, or is it just fatiguing him out or burning him out? You understand?
Yes, sir.
So is it the correct method? We need to introspect as community, and then as seniors we need to change. We have to cut the circle कि मेरे साथ ऐसा हुआ था, अब मैं भी आगे ऐसा करूंगा. वो सर्कल को एक जनरेशन को खत्म करना पड़ेगा, एक जनरेशन को करना पड़ेगा कि आई हैव टू एक्सेप्ट दैट आई विल बी द जनरेशन who will no longer transmit the toxicity that I received to the juniors. And thereafter, it will become easy because the juniors will not have received toxicity. They will not give it further. But one
Yes,
generation
sir.
will have to sacrifice, not sacrifice, but stop being the, we are playing this game of pass. You remember in school, you used to play, okay, I'm passing the ball. I am harassing you, you harass your juniors. I am harassing you, you harass your juniors. Somebody has to drop the ball and say, okay, no more passing. And that
Yes,
generation
sir.
probably is here. I am all very optimistic when I read the social media, I read on Twitter, social media. I think that generation is already here. Everybody is questioning this older thought process of teaching by insulting, teaching by screwing up, teaching by telling them, okay, boss, you have to live here in the hospital for next 20 days continuous, don't go home, all those things. But you can already hear a indolent voice on the social media. What is social media? Is the expression of the people in general. And you can already hear a small, smoldering voice which wants the change. I think the generation is already around. And maybe in the next generation, we will find more and more positive changes in the culture.
Yes, sir. So I just like to ask you the last question. Sir, how do you see the forthcoming convergence with artificial intelligence in medicine through the lens of radiology?
Now, what will happen is the world is changing. Every
Yes,
time
sir.
world has changed whenever the machines came into play. So far, the machines were only coming for manual labor. Now, I'll explain to you. Now, suppose earlier you had to carry as a laborer some load for to the fourth floor of a building, you would have to carry it on your head. Now you have a machine like a lift in your building which can carry that to the fourth floor. So the machines make the life of a person easier when it comes to physical labor. Nobody thought about mental labor so far. And with the advent of artificial intelligence and machine learning, now we have algorithms and neural networks which are able to learn and which are able to make the life of a person who is doing mental work also easier. Now let me explain to you how. What will happen now in future is that as a radiologist, suppose you are reporting 100 cases a day, which one of them you should do first? Now there is no system today, and you have to play around, spend time to understand. There will be a system, and probably it is already in place in many places, which is run by AI, which is going to prioritize the studies for you. These are the ones which are emergency ones, these are the ones moderate emergency, these are the ones which are probably normal. You just need to look at them. It will make us more efficient. Many people think that this is going to cost us the jobs. It is true and not true in the same manner. Every time a technology comes and it reshapes what we are doing today, people using the technology replace the people a generation before who were not using the technology. I will give you an example. Earlier, when MRI came to radiology,
Yes,
there was a time when we had people who were not using MRI, and the radiologists using MRI replaced the radiologists who were using MRI. So what will happen is people using AI algorithms to facilitate, to make their workflow process faster, to know what are likely going to be normal, what are the we will have a third eye with us, which will be a second opinion all the time happening, telling us, okay, I am looking at this X-ray, it looks normal to me. What does the AI tell me? Okay, he wants me to look at the apex. Okay, let me look at the apex once more. It will make us more efficient, more accurate. And second thing that will happen is, it is interesting that what I believe, when you look at a CT scan, I am looking at a CT scan for a liver abscess, but in his aorta, you have some calcification, some atherosclerotic changes, which to the naked eye, I might miss, I might not give due regard. But with AI algorithms, I might be able to quantify the atherosclerosis in his aorta and tell the risk of his coronary artery disease in future. I'll tell you what is my background here. Recently, they were doing screening of the diabetic retinopathy with AI, and they realized that when we are looking at the retinal vasculature through fundoscopy, we are also looking at the atherosclerosis that is happening in the eye vessels. And if you're able to see in the eye vessels, you can also predict what will happen in the coronary artery, because it's a field change that is happening in the body.
yes, sir.
So it may give us answers that we do not know. It might expand our horizon. And I believe that in future, radiologists will no longer remain radiologists. They will become like technocrats in between, who are people who are helping the diagnosis, not just radiological images, but helping the diagnosis with the full blown information that is available to us through the technology. Technology would revamp the healthcare. But we have to look at the healthcare with all the stakeholders in place. Whenever we are talking, we always think the stakeholders for healthcare are doctors, nurses, technicians, hospitals. We forget the patients. Patients are the biggest stakeholders in the healthcare, and they want better diagnosis. They want better healthcare to be delivered, more individualized care to be given. Maybe my genetic makeup might be different from your genetic makeup. I might require a different dose of drug than you do. I need more precision medicine. And all this would happen with AI. And I think the future of healthcare will be very exciting. And all the young doctors, I only need to tell you one thing: don't look at technology as a foe, look at something which can be your friend, your best friend. Start loving technology. As doctors, sometimes we hate technology. That is not the right approach. Love technology. It is going to enable you to be the differentiator in the red ocean that the government policies will create. But there will be few doctors who will love technology, who would see the power of technology, and they will change the world.
Yes, sir. So basically, we can
Yes, sir.
synergistically exist in an ecosystem and use technology to our advantage.
Not only our, to the patient's
The
management
patient
advantage,
advantage
which
as
is
well.
what
Yes,
we
sir.
are all about, which is the, which is where we started to help patients. In between we became doctors, but the entire idea is to help them even better.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. So I guess that was the last question we had, and I hope you enjoyed the podcast. And it is always very pleasant to have such open conversations and speak face to face with someone we always admire. So it was a great experience having you today, sir. So do you have any last remarks for our viewers?
My only last remark, which I would want to say today, would be that these guys at the AMSA podcast, Somya and Kushagra, are doing a great job, and
Thank you.
I see them. They've worked very hard. I think they have been after me for so long, and I was missing out on their messages, but they somehow managed to do it possible, and that tells me the kind of people they are. Now, anytime you want to achieve something, there will be obstacles, there will be no's, there will be delays. But if you really want to do something, you will find a way. And now imagine yourself today and think of it as, what is it that differentiate people who are highly successful from people who are moderately successful? What is it? Is it talent? Is it intelligence? Is it their memory? What is it that differentiates? And there has been a lot of research done by various people onto it. And there is a psychologist who says it is the grit which differentiates in the long run. What is grit? Grit means ability to stick to your goals despite pain, despite failures, despite people telling you no. How long can you persist will determine how far you can reach. So remind yourself this. I want to tell all the listeners, there may be ups and downs in life. You may lose, there will be pain, there will be failures, but if you persist, you will win. It is about people sticking to the goal despite the odds. I wish you all the best, and I'm very happy to be able to connect to these youngsters today, and it was a pleasure as well. I wish the best to both of them, their organization and their podcast.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much, sir.
Thank you.